Alien queen furious after human male impregnates her first try. The throne room of the Zytherian hive was a cathedral of bone and crystal. Great spires of chitin rose high into the air, pulsing faintly with the rhythm of the hive's collective heart. At the center sat the queen herself, towering, radiant, her body a perfect fusion of elegance and terror. Veins of bioluminescence rippled beneath her pale exoskeleton, casting shifting patterns of blue light across the chamber. All who entered trembled. All but one. The human stood unshaken beneath her gaze. His name was Marcus, a soldier taken alive when his fleet had fallen in orbit. Unlike the others, he had not begged, nor cursed. Instead, he watched the hive with an unsettling calm. The queen found it infuriating. "You should be groveling, human," she hissed, her voice reverberating through the chamber like the grinding of stone. "Do you understand where you are? What I am?" Marcus tilted his head, eyes unwavering. "You're the one who's afraid." Her claws clenched the throne's arms. No one had ever spoken to her like that. The bargain. The hive was dying. Her children grew weaker with each brood. Centuries of war had burned away their genetic vigor, leaving even her most loyal drones sterile husks. In desperation, she had turned to what her ancestors forbade: experimentation with alien blood. The humans, reckless in their resilience, had proven intriguing. Their capacity to adapt, to survive, defied her every law of biology. Perhaps, she thought, their essence could renew her hive. She had taken Marcus for one purpose: to test compatibility. Never did she expect the result. Within the span of a single cycle, the hive's bio-oracles confirmed the impossible. Conception had taken root. Her form already pulsed with the signs of a growing heir. And it had been the first attempt. The queen was furious. Rage and denial. "This cannot be," she snarled, pacing before Marcus in the sterile chamber of crystal and bone. "No outsider, no human, could succeed where my entire hive failed." Marcus, chained but unbowed, gave her a look that might have been amusement. "Sounds like you underestimated us." Her luminous eyes flared. "Do not mock me." "I'm not," he said evenly. "I just think you've built your whole empire on the idea you're superior. And now, that superiority is compromised." The words hit like poison. She wanted to tear him apart, to silence his insolence. But her hand strayed unconsciously to her abdomen, where warmth pulsed faintly beneath her chitin. He had done what none of her species had managed in decades. He had given her what she could not create alone. And that truth unsettled her more than she would admit. The queen's dilemma. Her court whispered in the shadows. Some called for Marcus's immediate death. An abomination should not live. Others argued he must be kept, studied, replicated. But the queen remained silent. She found herself staring at him too often, searching his expression for weakness, for arrogance, for anything that could explain how he had succeeded where so many had failed. He met her gaze without fear. Always without fear. One evening, when the drones had withdrawn, she asked him outright. "Why you? Why did your essence take root so quickly?" Marcus shrugged. "Maybe because I wasn't afraid of you." The queen tilted her head. "You think courage alters biology?" "I think," he said slowly, "that life finds a way when you stop trying to control it." The simplicity of it infuriated her. Her people had perfected genetic design over millennia. They controlled every variable, every sequence, every molecule. And yet, in her arrogance, she had overlooked the simplest truth: nature thrived in chaos. This human embodied that chaos. Shifting power. The days stretched into weeks. Her fury simmered, but so too did something else, something she had not felt in centuries. Curiosity. Marcus did not cower. He asked questions of her hive, of their culture, of their long wars and their silent songs that echoed through the spires. He spoke to her not as prey to predator, but as equal to equal. It unsettled her. It angered her. It intrigued her. One night, she confronted him again, her voice low and venomous. "You have made me vulnerable, human. My body changes because of you. My people whisper doubts. And still you smile. Why?" Marcus leaned forward in his chains, meeting her burning gaze. "Because for the first time, you're not untouchable. You're real. And real is something I can fight beside, or against." Her chest constricted. No one had ever spoken to her as though she were mortal. Not goddess, not sovereign, not monster. Just real. The air. The bio-oracles confirmed what she already knew. The life within her grew strong, vigorous, unlike any spawn she had birthed before. The hive thrummed with unease. Was this child savior or heresy? The queen herself did not know. She stood before Marcus, her claws digging grooves into the stone floor. "What happens now, human? Do I raise an heir born of your kind? Do I let your influence corrupt my hive?" Marcus studied her, then shook his head. "Not corrupt. Change. You asked me once why it worked. Maybe it's because the universe doesn't care about purity. It only cares about survival." Her mind raged with conflict. To admit this truth was to admit weakness. To deny it was to condemn her people to extinction. And so, for the first time in her reign, she hesitated. Fury turned fire. Her fury never vanished. But it changed. No longer a fire of destruction, it burned as fuel. She turned it outward, not at Marcus, but at the destiny forced upon them both. "You have bound yourself to me," she said, her voice trembling between wrath and wonder. "You have planted a seed that will alter the fate of my people. For that, I should despise you." "And do you?" Marcus asked quietly. She paused. Her claws flexed, her eyes burned, and yet the word refused to form. Instead, she whispered, "I do not know." Epilogue. In the hive's great cathedral, the queen walked with new weight. The child within her was both promise and threat, born of a human she should have destroyed. She hated him for it. She admired him for it. She feared him for it. And in the shadows of her heart, though she would never admit it aloud, she felt something stranger still, a flicker of hope. The alien queen was furious. Furious that he had succeeded. Furious that he had broken the laws of her kind. Furious that, on the first try, he had given her something no one else could. And Marcus, he just smiled.